Hi, I'm Nathan, and this is the AR Minute from AWE EU. I'm talking with Thibault Mathieu of Wilkins Avenue AR. So let's get started. Hey Thibault, can you tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do in the Metaverse at Wilkins Avenue AR?
Well, basically, we are an augmented reality studio, and we work with a lot of retail brands like Lancome, L'Oreal, Maybelline. What we do is create AR experiences that bring fun and magic into retail stores. Our ambition is to make the shopping experience much more immersive and fun.
Can you talk a little bit about why you're focused on in-store rather than like Instagram or in-app AR experiences?
That's a good question. That's something that our clients want, especially in the post-COVID era. There's a real need to enchant the customer experience in store. But how do you bring people back in the stores? And it's by providing them crazy experiences, that engage people, that are very emotional, that are very fun. And we think that AR is a way to sort of bring, the digital engagement that's created in the metaverse within the physical stores to sort of be this link between the metaverse and the in-store experience. And there's a real need for creating, emotional connections between brands and consumers.
I've long said that you don't need to convince fashion and beauty brands to do bold, interesting things. They'll travel across the world to ancient ruins or Wall Street just to have a fashion show. They like doing exciting things. So I love that you're activating the metaverse in those interested spaces.
Absolutely, and it's really no surprise that brands like Gucci, Dior are among the first to make the first steps into the metaverses.
Yeah.
And that's really because they are at the forefront of what it is to create a very engaging customer experience, and they're looking to explore new ways to do that.
After my own heart, diving in on user experience, customer experience, the enchantment using AR. Okay, we have to get into the questions now.
Sure.
So we hear at the expo a lot of talk about dreams for the future of the metaverse. Do you have a dream for the metaverse and how AR is going?
I have a nightmare of what that could be. Mm-hmm. Just like, a lot of people, we all know that it could become this dystopian nightmare, as John Hanke, from Niantic said. I think my dream is to have a metaverse that does not cut us off from the real world.
Yeah.
And that's where augmented reality, really comes in, to be that bridge between the digital and the physical world. And I think the future is really there.
The next question sort of dives into some of these questions, these harder questions that we also hear a lot about at an expo like this. There's questions about your privacy, the security of your data, the safety that you have when you're in, metaverse experiences. It seems like you're already thinking about this. So how in your work are you ensuring that people aren't cut off, or that, these pitfalls, that we can avoid these pitfalls as we look towards adoption?
The internet has made a lot of people's life easier, obviously. Mm-hmm. It's also made a lot of people's life more difficult.
Yeah.
My granddad recently passed away, and at the end of his life, it was very difficult for him to live in this world because everything is digital, right? Mm-hmm. So if we think about the metaverse as the new internet, I think we want to avoid these sort of moving too fast and leaving a lot of people behind, and especially the elderly. And I think, it's going to be our collective responsibility as creators to build a metaverse that's as inclusive as possible, and not just something, for sort of tech geeks and Gen Z, but something for everyone. And again, when we see some people already lost within the current tools that we have at our disposal, I'm afraid that later down the road in the future, it can become a society, that's really divided into two parts: the people that have access to the metaverse and the people that don't. And that's a world that we don't want to live in. So
if Metaverse can give you superpowers, it would be a horrible world where some people had superpowers and some people were at the whims of those superpowers.
Absolutely. And that's what our clients ask us. how do we make an experience that's going to be able to be seen by as many people as possible? Not just people with AR glasses, but like everyone on their phones. And soon there's going to be more and more mass adoption. And we want to make sure that we bring our clients to be a part of that.
If you're a brand considering XR technology, insist that your teams make sure it's accessible and safe.
Yes.
The last question is a simple one, and it's just a fill in the blank. The future is?
Hopefully the future is more fun than the present. And I think AR, and again, some of the experiences we do is a great way to do that.
I love the coincidental passion and skepticism that you brought to this AR Minute.
That's like, I think, the French spirit of mind.
We need more French people in the metaverse, quick. Thibault Mathieu, Watkins Avenue AR, such a pleasure to talk with you. We covered a lot of big topics in a very short amount of time. I really appreciate your perspective and your work in XR.
Thanks so much, Nathan.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you.